Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel R Square Pathshala. My name is Ravi Sani. So in the previous lecture we had learnt about the key elements of democratic government. So this is the fifth lecture of 6th class NCRT book Social and Political Life 1. So in this fifth chapter basically we are starting today with the unit 3, and we will be covering local governments and administration in unit 3. So today we will discuss about Panchayati Raj, chapter 5th, Panchayati Raj. Okay, so and up till now we have seen how people participate in the election to elect their representatives, and those representatives take decision on behalf of people. So now we will see how the decisions are taken, how the elected representatives take decisions for any policy or for any scheme. So here we will try to learn this aspect while looking at how Gram Sabha works. Okay, so Gram Sabha is basically a meeting where people directly participate and seek answers from their elected representatives. Okay, so let's start. So it is a special day today. Everyone rushing to get to the Gram Sabha. Do you know why? Because the Gram Sabha is holding its first meeting after the election of new Gram Panchayat. In the previous lecture, we have seen the levels of government. In that, we had discussed one is national government, then second state government, and third local government. Local government constitutes further two. One is for urban government, and then rural government. So rural government, or we can say Panchayati Raj system. So basically these the representatives of the people in these governments are elected by the people in elections which are held every regular interval, generally 5 years in case of India, for the national election, for the state election, and for the local government elections. Elections are elections happens after every 5 years. Okay, so after every election the new government or the new Gram Panchayat in case of Panchayati Raj is formed. Okay, so this was all which it is been explained that after new after the election the first Gram Panchayat meeting is being held. So the people of Hardas village are keen to find out what their new Panchayat leaders have planned for the village. So we have seen in the previous lecture why the governments are formed. For the development work was one of the aspect. So here in the assembly, the peoples of the village will try to find out what development work their Panchayati Raj leaders have planned for their village. Okay, Gram Sabha. We have mentioned earlier the Gram Sabha. So we'll learn about what is Gram Sabha. So basically the information given in the boxes we will be reading at the end of the chapter. First we'll complete this, then we'll try to understand the explain or the meaning of Gram Sabha, Panchayati Raj, what is the system there, then we'll discuss. Okay, so that you will be more clear with them. Okay, so Gram Sabha meeting begins with the Panchayat president, who is also called the Sarpanch, and the members of the Panchayat, the Panch. presenting. Let me first explain. They basically, in a gram panchayat, one is sarpanch, who is elected by gram sabha, and other members of the panchayat are panch. So sarpanch is the head of the panchayat. Okay, so panchayat president and the members of the panchayat presenting a plan on repairing the road. This is development work which is repairing the road. They presented this plan to the gram sabha that connects the village to the main highway. So after this, the discussion moves to the subject of water and water shortages. So first they have presented repairing of road from their village to the main highway. So this was agenda 1. They presented to the members of the gram sabha. Then they moved on to the second agenda, that was water and water shortages. So one by one, so basically in this we are just trying to see how gram sabha works and how the decisions are taken for the benefit of the villages or the for the development work. Okay, so we have seen panchayat members, president and the panchayat members presented the agenda 1. Then they moved on to the agenda 2, the water and water shortages. So a villager called Tijia begins the meeting by saying, the water problem in Hardas has become the very acute. The hand pump water level has gone well below the point up to which the ground has been drilled. We hardly get any water in the taps. Basically, if this is the ground level, this is the pump, this was the earlier water level. Now up to this point the hand pump is drilled. Now water level has gone below this, so water is not coming through this pump. Okay, the water table has gone down basically. So women have to go to Suru river, which is 3 kilometers away, to get water. One of the members suggested piping water from the Suru and making an overhead tank. So this is option 1, that you make a piping network from Suru river to the overhead tank in the village. So that will increase the water supply. But the others think that this will be expensive. This is one option, but expensive. It is better, they feel, to deepen the hand pump and clean the wells for this season. This is option 2. Okay, one is to make an overhead tank with the network of pipes. Then second is to clean the wells and deepen the hand pumps. So Tijia says this is not enough. We need to do something more permanent, as groundwater level seems to be going down every year. So they says, so this is a recurring problem. We will face this problem every year. So what we are thinking is a temporary solution. That is not enough, because for this year we might benefit, but from the next year onwards the problem will occur again. So we need to find some permanent solution for this problem. So we are using more water than is seeping into the ground. Basically, replenishment of water is not occurring. So another member, Anwar, then tells everyone that he has seen ways of conserving water and refilling it in a village in Maharashtra when he had once gone to visit his brother. It was called watershed development, and he had heard that government gave money for this work. So one of the member of Gram Sabha suggested the conserving water and recharging the wells. That is watershed development. So for this he had heard that government provides fund for such type of projects. So in his brother's village, people had planted trees constructed check dams and tanks. Everyone thought this was an interesting idea, and the Gram Panchayat was asked to find out about in detail. So this was, we can say, this is option 3. Option 1 and option 2 was there, but on the option 3, uh, Gram Panchayat was advised to work on it and come with the detail. Okay. The next item on the agenda for the Gram Sabha is the finalization of the list of people below the poverty line. Then the list has to be finalized by Gram Sabha. So which had to be approved by Gram Sabha. As soon as the list is read out, people began to whisper. Natwar has just bought a color TV and his son has sent him a new motorcycle. How can he be the poverty below the poverty line? This was one anomaly, that he is wealthy, he is enough to live a good life. How can he be below the poverty line? Surajmal mutters to the person sitting next to him. Saroj says to Sukhi Bhai, how did Birju's name get on to the list? He has so much land. The list should have only poor people. So one of the member of Gram Sabha asked him why the name of a particular person is there in the list. He has so much of land. The list is meant for the poor people, and it should have poor people only. And Om Prakash is a landless laborer who can barely make ends meet, yet his name is not on the list. There is something which should be there but it is not there, and which should not be there but it is there. So you know that both Natwar and Birjus are friends of Amir Chand. Who can counter Amir Chand's power? Sukhi Bhai says Amir Chand was the earlier Jamindar, land owner of the village, and still has control over a lot of land. But we should get Om Prakash names put in. The Sarpanch, Panchayat President, notices people whispering and asks if anyone has anything to say. Basically, President or the Sarpanch asks people if they have to say anything on any subject. So Saroj tries to provoke Surajmal to ask about Natwar and Birju, but he keeps quiet. Amir Chand is sitting in the Gram Sabha keeping an eye on everyone. Then Saroj gets up and says that Om Prakash's name should be in the BPL list. Yes, he is poor, he is a landless laborer, he can barely survive, so his name should be in the BPL list. Others agree that he and his family are very poor. The Sarpanch asks how his name had been missed out. The person who did the survey of BPL family says Om Prakash's house was locked when I went there. He may have gone somewhere to look for work. He clarified that when he went to the Om Prakash house for survey, his house was locked. He was not there. So just because of that, his name was not present in the list. Then Sarpanch gives instruction that Om Prakash family income be looked at, and if it is less than the what has been decided by government, his name should be included in the list. Focus here. Panchayat president suggested that the family income is to be looked upon, and if it is less than the limit decided by government, which government, maybe state or maybe central government, his name should be in the list. Clear? Gram Panchayat. So Gram Panchayat meets regularly, and one of its main tasks is to implement development programs for all villages that come under it. Okay, let me first explain you the what is Gram Sabha and the about Panchayat. So Gram Sabha is basically a meeting of all adults who live in an area covered by a panchayat. This could be only one village or a few villages. In some states, as in the example above, a village meeting is held for each village. Anyone who is 18 years old or more and who has the right to vote is a member of Gram Sabha, basically Panchayat. It could be of single village, one village, and it could be of multiple village, multiple village. Okay, now panchayat for one village or it could be for multiple village. gram sabha Gram sabha is basically in a village. Suppose there are number of people, those peoples of the village who are adult, means greater than 18 years and has a right to vote in elections. They are the members of Gram Sabha. Basically, all adult population of a village who is eligible to vote in the elections are members of Gram Sabha. So it could be of one village or it could be of multiple village. Clear? Now every village panchayat is divided into wards. Which is smaller areas. Each ward elects a representative who is known as ward member or panch. In a village, suppose there is population is too much, then the entire area of the village is divided into number of wards, and each wards elect its representatives, which we call as ward member, or we can say panch. All the members of the Gram Sabha also elects a sarpanch. The Gram Sabha, the assembly of adults who is eligible to vote in the election, they elects a president, which we call as sarpanch or panchayat president. The ward panch and sarpanch, they forms the Gram Panchayat. The ward members, which we call it panch, and the sarpanch, the panchayat president, they together forms the Gram Panchayat. Okay, so Gram Sabha is the assembly of all adults eligible to vote in the elections, and Gram Panchayat constitutes panch and the sarpanch. Clear? The Gram Panchayat is elected for 5 years, as we have seen earlier. Gram Panchayat has a secretary who is also the secretary of Gram Sabha. Gram Panchayat basically has a secretary, and secretary is that is he is also the secretary of Gram Sabha. So basically Gram Panchayat and Gram Sabha has a common secretary. So this person is not an elected person but is appointed by the government, and he is responsible for calling the meeting of the Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat and keeping a record of the proceedings. Basically, secretary to Gram Panchayat or Gram Sabha is appointed by the government to ensure the smooth functioning of the Gram Sabha and the Gram Panchayat and keeping a record of its proceedings. Okay, so if you have seen a web series called Panchayat on Amazon Prime, if you look at the series, that series is totally about Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabha, okay, and secretary. So we have learned about Gram Sabha, we have learned about Gram Panchayat, what are the members of, who are the members of Gram Panchayat, who are the members of Gram Sabha, and who is the secretary. Okay, Then we have seen somewhat how the Gram Sabha is Gram Sabha functions, how people participate in the decision making. Okay, Gram Sabha is a key factor in making Gram Panchayat play its role and be responsible. Basically, the members of Gram Sabha, as we have seen earlier, they ask or they ensure that Gram Panchayat is a responsible institution and ensure their accountability. It is the place where all plans for the work of the Gram Panchayat are placed before the people. As we have seen, the Panchayat president places agendas one by one before the members of Gram Sabha and gets their approval. So Gram Sabha prevents the Panchayat from doing wrong things like misusing money or favoring certain people. As we have seen, that name of Om Prakash was missing from the list despite being very poor people. So members of Gram Sabha prevents Gram Panchayat from doing wrong. Okay, and they could not raise voices against the members who were wealthy and but included in the below poverty line because they were very powerful people. Okay, so but they have raised voice for the people who was supposed to be included in the list but was missed out due to some reason. So it plays an important role in keeping an eye on the elected representatives and in making them responsible to the person which who elect them. Basically, through the participation in Gram Sabha, the members of the Gram Sabha, they keep an eye on the elected representative and they make sure that this person work in a accountable manner. Okay, and we have seen here. Then the Gram Panchayat meets regularly, and the main task of the Gram Panchayat to implement the development programs for all villages that come under it. It could be one village, or it could be multiple villages. The work of Gram Panchayat is approved by Gram Sabha. Panchayat members lay their agenda before the members of Gram Sabha and Gram Sabha members approves the agenda for the work. In some states, Gram Sabha forms committees like Construction and Development Committee. These committees include the members of Gram Sabha and some from the Gram Panchayat. They work together to carry out specific tasks. So that is state specific. In some state, basically for any specific development work, they generally form a committee and which constitutes the members of Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat. They together work on the how to implement and what could be the components of the development work and how it could be implemented in a better way. They work on that and implement that scheme or suggest the overall program to the Gram Panchayat or Gram Sabha. Then Gram Sabha approves that on the basis of the recommendation of the committee. Okay, so basically let us now see the works of Gram Panchayat. Basically construction and maintenance of water resources, roads, drainage, school building and other common property resources, levying and collecting local taxes, executing government schemes related to generating employment in the village. So these types of works are performed by Panchayat or Gram Panchayat. Now, how or from where the funds of the Panchayat come? Collection of taxes on houses and marketplaces, government scheme funds received through various departments of the government, through Janpad and through Jila Panchayat, and donations for community works. Basically, they levy their own taxes like house tax and market tax. They receive fund from the government for various schemes, and they receive donations. Okay, so uh, so we have seen how Gram Sabha works and how the members of Gram Sabha ensure the responsibility and accountability of the members of Gram Panchayat, and how the decisions are taken. Ultimately, all the development works of the panchayat have to be approved by members of the Gram Sabha. Okay, let us see what the Hardas Gram Panchayat was able to do. Do you remember the options that were suggested to solve the water problem? Yes, one was one option was to lay a network of pipe from Suru River to village overhead tank, and second was to deepen the water, deepen the pump level, or to clean the well. So these were options. So when Hardas Gram Panchayat held a meeting, this point was brought up again, and after another meeting came up, so this point was brought up again by some of the members Panch. The meeting was attended by Sarpanch, wards, and the secretary. So that was not resolved, and Gram Panchayat was asked to look or to work on the watershed development scheme. So in the next meeting, the matter brought up again by members. The Gram Panchayat members first discussed the suggestion to deepen two hand pumps and clean one well so that the village would not go without water. They first discussed that in this particular season we will deepen two hand pumps and clean one well so that village would not go without water. The Sarpanch suggested that since the Panchayat had received some money for maintenance of hand pumps, this could be used for completing this work. Basically, for maintenance of hand pump, Panchayat had received some amount of money, so they suggested to use this money for deepen two hand pumps and clean one well. So the members agreed to this, and the secretary recorded their decision. So here we have seen that some decision is suggested by Panchayat president, and the members of the Panchayat agreed to that. So ultimately decision was taken, and secretary, who is responsible for smooth functioning of Panchayat, recorded their decision. This is how decisions are taken. Okay. The members then went on to discuss the option of a long-term solution. They were sure that Gram Sabha members would ask question at the next meeting. So they took a decision, and they then went on to discuss the long-term solution, because they were aware that the members of Gram Sabha would ask questions at the next meeting. So this is how the members ensure the accountability or responsibility of the Panchayat members. Okay, so some punch asked whether the watershed program would make a substantial difference to the water level. A lot of discussion followed. In the end, it was decided that the Gram Panchayat would approach the block development officer and get more information on the scheme. Okay, so basically they have discussed the watershed program also, and ultimately at the end they thought that they will approach the block development officer and get information on the scheme. 3 levels of panchayat. After reading about what happened in the Gram Sabha, the Gram Panchayat in Hatas village, you can understand that Panchayati Raj system is a process through which people participate in their own government. We have seen how people participate in Gram Sabha, they ask questions and they ensure the accountability of the members, And basically we have seen how people participate in their own government. In rural areas, gram panchayat is the first tier or the level of democratic government. So Panchayati Raj basically consists of three level. Level of government are three: national, state, and Panchayati Raj. In the Panchayati Raj itself, there are three tier. The Panch and the Gram Panchayat are answerable to Gram Sabha because it is the members of the Gram Sabha who elect them. This is important here. The Panch and the Gram Panchayat, they are answerable to Gram Sabha because it is the members of the Gram Sabha. So we have seen here they were concerned that the members of the Gram Sabha will ask question in the next meeting about the problem or the long term solution on the water and water scarcity. So they are responsible or they are answerable to Gram Sabha because they are the members of Gram Sabha. So this idea of people's participation in the Panchayati Raj system extend to two other levels. So this was one level, okay, the village level or the Gram Panchayat. This idea also extend to the other two levels. One is at the block level, which is the cluster of Gram Panchayat. Cluster of Gram Panchayat is under one block, and which is called Janpad Panchayat or the Panchayat Samiti, and the Panchayat Samiti has many Gram Panchayat under it. So this is one Gram Panchayat, one Gram Panchayat, one Gram Panchayat. So these come under one Panchayat Samiti. Then other these are this is another Panchayat Samiti. So this is then above this we have, let me explain you in a better way. Let me explain it. Jila Parishad is at the topmost level. Below this we have Panchayat Samiti. Samiti, or in short we can write PS. Panchayat Samiti, Panchayat Samiti, Panchayat Samiti. There could be other Panchayat Samiti also. And under each Panchayat Samiti we have cluster of Gram Panchayat. Gram Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, Gram Panchayat. Similarly, under all Gram Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, Gram Panchayat. So this is typical. So at the ground level we have Gram Panchayat. The cluster of Gram Panchayat forms the Panchayat Samiti. Then cluster of Panchayat Samiti forms the Jila Parishad. Jila Parishad is the highest unit of development in a district. Clear? So above the Panchayat Samiti is the district Panchayat, or above this there is district Panchayat or Zilla Parishad. The Zilla Parishad actually makes development plans at the district levels with the help of Panchayat Samitis. It also regulates the money distribution among all the Gram Panchayat. So Zilla Panchayat or Zilla Parishad or district Panchayat is the highest decision making body of a district or at the district level and makes the development plan for the entire district with the help from Panchayat Samitis, and it also regulates the money distribution among all the Gram Panchayats. So within the guidelines given in the constitution, each state in the country has its own law with regard to Panchayat. The idea is to provide more and more space for people to participate and raise their voices. So in our constitutional scheme, Panchayati Raj is basically comes under the state, and every state is free to frame its own guidelines according to their wish. Okay, so this was all in this chapter. I hope this chapter is clear to you. If you have any question, please post me in the comment section. See you in the next chapter. Thank you.